And with that little clip, I just wanted to show you how dangerous zombies can finally be in DayZ standalone stress test version of 063. Now this is probably the earliest iteration of 063 and therefore the beta version of DayZ standalone. It has finally come to the point where you can call it a beta. It is still very rough around everything. There's still a ton of bugs, which you can expect from the earliest iteration of a beta, but it is already so much better than the alpha ever was. Now at this point, hating on DayZ has become a meme. I know, the development process was very slow. The game first released in 2013 if I remember correctly, but don't quote me on that one. So it's been a really long time already and the game is still not finished. But for good reason, to be honest. The Arma 2 engine DayZ was built upon was just not cutting it for such a ambitious game. So they had to completely scrap all roadmaps they had. The lead designer of DayZ, Dean Hall, has also left the team, but the team is still very good at what they're doing. Just because one guy has left who has created the original mod for Arma 2, it doesn't mean the game suddenly becomes bad. The opposite is quite true actually. So what this development team did was remove all the old code from the Arma 2 engine and recode it into the new Infusion engine. So what can you expect from this new version of DayZ? Well, new animation system, as you can already see on screen right here. There's a new system for example, laying prone, where you just basically can roll around, just lay on the back and shoot back behind you. Stuff like this. It is very reminiscent of what Ghost Recon Wildlands did. Weapons are also completely overhauled, which also allows the chambering of weapons if you do not have a mag. So you can put one bullet in and fire that one. Overall, the character works completely different now. You can eat by holding down the left mouse button. You can even walk around now while eating. This walking around while doing something doesn't just apply to eating, it also now applies to manual loading of magazines. Like you do not drag the piles of ammo onto the magazines and it just automatically loads up the magazine. No, you just have to do it bullet by bullet manually. And you can do this while you're walking around. Generally, the character now controls way easier, less clunky, and it feels like you have a lot more freedom with your controls. PvP as well surprisingly felt very snappy and very good. The devs have said that your characters can now die more easily, like more realistically with just a few bullets, even with smaller calibers. As you can see, I'm mainly using the Makarov here, which is a 380 round, and before the beta, before this version, that wouldn't do too much damage. It would take a bunch of shots to actually kill someone with a 380 round. But now it feels like you shoot once or twice and your target or yourself is dead, which of course scares you even more if you don't want your character to die. Environments have changed as well. Here, for example, Northwest Airfield, which had a complete overhaul and now looks a lot different. The western side now being this whole barracks area where you basically just find the barracks from Arma 3 as well as a few other buildings. The loot seems decent, it seems military, it doesn't seem to have too many weapons in them. So knowing Northwest Airfield, you know this is a high risk, high reward area. The eastern side still has hangars, other completely new and different ones, with big metal gates and a back entrance or exit. More towards the middle of the eastern side, you find this huge hangar. There's not much in it at the moment, but I can imagine some vehicles to spawn in there, or some helicopters maybe? Planes? I'm not sure if planes are planned, but it would be cool to see. The next thing that amazed me was the whole new huge air traffic control tower. It's so big it has multiple floors with offices in it where you can find a few decent military things, a few radio equipments and radar equipments where you can also find military loot, such as this Gorka pen. These Gorka pens I just found. And of course this main part up here, which I'm not sure what to call. I'm just gonna call it the commanding or overlook area of the tower. And it's pretty massive, it's pretty high up as you can see. Also has the new ladder on the side of it, which you can also slide down now to go down faster. Further up north, we find the occasional zombie you just shoot with your AKM, and the occasional unfinished building. Well, I was saying that this is the earliest iteration of 0.63, so this sort of stuff can happen. I was exploring it. It has unfinished interiors, so I'm kind of excited to see what this is gonna become. So we will see. Now, the most northern point of the runway, you can find a crashed military plane. Which I do believe in DayZ mod, don't quote me on this one, but I believe in DayZ mod there used to be the same plane with the same model and textures, also in this very same location. So I'm liking this. Now going back to the west side is kind of disappointing and boring. There's not much here, a lot of open space, the occasional what I believe are bunkers, a few industrial buildings, a few smaller military ones. Nothing you would really want to check out because it's too risky to stay in this open area. I'm not sure if this is done building yet, if they actually plan to put more stuff here or not. But so far it's just boring there. Now these are just a few examples of what DayZ 063 brings to DayZ. What changes there are, what kind of bug fixes, what kind of new features and stuff like this. If I would go in depth into what else there's changed, that would be a way too long video, at least an hour long or so, because a lot of things have changed, because pretty much everything has changed in this game. But a few more other notable things I think would be worth mentioning is stuff like the more you carry, the less you can sprint. Sprinting is now limited to a stamina bar you can see in the lower left corner of your screen. Speaking of the stamina bar, I have not even mentioned the HUD yet, which is more reminiscent of what the HUD looked like in DayZ mod, and it works pretty much the same like in DayZ mod. So gone are the days where you check your character menu and check if your character is fully energized or hydrated, because now you can see it in the bottom right corner and it tells you exactly what your character needs. Your character also cannot be energized for pretty much forever now. You will have to eat eventually now. As I have noticed, you will get hungry more often. But yeah, this is pretty much it on what I can tell about DayZ 063. I do believe this could revive the game. This could actually bring back players who said they will return to the beta version. And I do believe DayZ will actually have a bright future. It might take a while still, knowing the development team, but I believe we will get there. This game will be great.